the size of some of these blocks, like this one.
Oh yeah,
on the right here. Look at that thing.
Oh wow, look what you did there.
That's magic.
That's visual.
That is magical. I love that. Yeah, I love how like that's what you were showing earlier. Some of the blocks they're like wider, and then the block that fits into it fits perfectly into that little 45-degree angle.
Yeah, this guy's like 6'8". So that gives you an example of how tall this block is.
That's Chow Ming.
This dude is tall. Then this one on the other side is also an enormous block. But what's really interesting is when you get the corners, right? So the corners here. So I've drawn a line down the corner, and you'll notice that that giant block goes around the corner.
Oh my God!
No way. That's like just arrogance. It's like you're showing off,
right? Well, it's interesting because when and also you'll see this one here. I didn't make any cool graphics for this one, but it's just like, here's your layer, but nope, let's drop it down a couple of inches for this next part, and let's give it a nice curve. Let's not make it square, just let's make it harder on itself. So yeah, you're right. It's kind of a, what is it that, well, there's a quote from 2001: A Space Odyssey where he was talking about the geometric perfection of the monolith was a kind of mathematical arrogance, is what he said.
Yeah.
And it sort of, I always think of that when you're looking at this stonework, because it's like they're just showing off, dude. So here's another corner in a different part of so you can sort of clearly see the corner line.
Yeah.
Right? And it looks like the corner, like, I don't have good pictures of it here, but when you walk up close and look up, that corner line has a regular radius. Like it was drilled from the top all the way down with a single tool. I don't know if that's how they did it, but
it's a square tool.
Like, no, it's not. It's got a round radius, right? So the blocks come in, and then there's a curve where the corner is. It's not a perfect 90 degree. Like there's a tiny bit of a curve. Like, like there was a bit that was used.
Like a 1-inch drill bit. They just went from the top of the wall, just
all the way down.
Drilled all the way down to the ground.
So yeah, so that's the corner.
Now, I'm not saying that's what they did.
Right.
It's what it looks like.
Right.
It's like the radius is the same.
And there's and it's continuous across the blocks. But also, look, this block goes around the corner. This block goes around the corner.
All three of those go around the corner.
This block goes around the corner, and this one goes around the corner. Here's a picture of another.
Oh my God!
So see that?
What the fuck?
Yeah, and notice the radius of the corner, like it's a continuous line going all the way down. Yeah.
It's a tool.
Yeah.
It's clearly, it looks different than the faces of the wall.
Yeah.
Like it just stands out.
Yeah. It's got a different sort of aspect to it. And then you can see this one around the corner, that one goes around the corner, this one goes around the corner.
Yeah, reflects differently than the rest of it. Like
yes. And all the way up. They go around the corner, and they mostly alternate. And then, this is my favorite, right? Just in case you're in doubt about blocks going around the corner. You got this block.
Oh my God.
It is the fucking corner. So you start to think, how big was this initially? Like this block has to go deep into the wall to the right and deep into the wall to the left and all the way back into the, that's a big damn block right there. And they've just cut one corner of it off to make it the corner of this wall.
That's absurd.
So this is what we came up with. Let's say that you want to have
This is a top-down view.
Yeah, a top-down view. You want to make a chamber like we were just looking at, right?
Yep.
So you build big limestone casing blocks, and you make a big rectangular chamber here with limestone casing blocks. Then you case the interior in irregular granite, sort of puffy, irregular granite. Now notice when you're looking at these that none of these blocks, these granite blocks, go around any corners.
Right.
Okay. Then you go out onto the top of those granite blocks, and you find the place where you want the actual interior wall to be. This is where you want the surfaces of the wall to be. It's inside the stone right now.
Okay.
See? Then you drill 4 holes at the corners of that interior future wall. Then you go in with your magic granite flattening tool, whatever that is, and you remove all that granite. Now you have 4 blocks that go around corners.
Yep. And it makes total sense.
Yep.
We know that they were facing the granite. So if you had 6 or 8 inches, we know that they were facing that pyramid at least, 18 inches deep.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're going to go face it, this is what's going to happen in an inside corner.
And there's places we can look at later, like the Osirian, where they were in the process of facing the wall, and we can look at that too.
Yeah, the Osirian stuff is nuts.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, one more thing in the Valley Temple is I'll just show you some of the joins. I'm just putting my fingers up there for reference, but there's a horizontal join and a vertical one here, right here,
It's flawless.
and here. They're almost invisible.
Yeah.
I mean, look at that. You can
Yeah.
barely. The only reason you can see it is because there's like
Erosion.
there's erosion, and there's slight discontinuities in the crystalline structures, basically.
Right. Otherwise, it would be invisible.
Yeah. So
It's just so crazy that
this
there's
is another one.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah. So that's this is an outside corner. And it's also very heavily eroded. It's really interesting how deeply eroded this granite is. And granite is, not a weak stone. How long does it take for it to basically begin to decompose like this?
It is one of the hardest stones, right? It's like one of the top 3 hardest stones.
Yeah, it's a 7, I think, on the Mohs
7,
scale.
yeah.
9 being, or is it diamond is a 10 or is it a 9? I can't remember. I think it's a 10.
I thought it was a 10.
Yeah. So it's 7. And, we had a geologist on one of the tours with us, and he would look at this, he'd stand there looking at this, decomposition of the granite, and he's just like, I'm like, how long does this take, Chuck? And he's like, a long time. A long time. He wouldn't commit to a number. He just said a long damn time.
Right.
Jeez.
So
Yeah.
it's just so wild to me. Like, just try to imagine what those tools would have looked like. And there's zero evidence of any of these tools and no remains
Yeah.
from any of these machines that they would have used to do this.
No known. Yeah. I
known.
would love for there to be, someday somebody finds an unopened tool
An unopened one.
chamber.
Well,
okay.
Chris Dunn talks about you've heard about him, the tuning forks that he mentions.
Yeah. You mean the ones at the base of the staffs? Is that what you're talking about? Or-
He said there was a row of giant tuning forks in the Grand Gallery going up to the King's Chamber.
Oh, the
metal
hell?
tuning forks, because he shows that they're like the shapes of them. What he hypothesizes they would have looked like whenever the explosion happened in the King's Chamber. It would have been like a electronic explosion, and there's burn marks on the top of the Grand Gallery going all the way up where those tuning forks would have been. And he superimposed a graphic showing what they looked like. And he thinks that somebody stole those tuning. I don't know if maybe
Talking
there's
about
a theory.
the Helmholtz resonators? Is
That's
that what
what I
it's
was
talking
thinking.
about?
Maybe.
They're
But
kind of a tuning fork.
There's
sort
a
of.
conspiracy theory I found out there that somebody found a photo of some of these tuning forks. They're like hidden away somewhere.
Oh, man.
And somebody stripped them out of there and they're hiding them somewhere.
Yeah, that's believable, because if you have ancient tools and they're made of metals and other valuable things, and then civilization collapses and a long time goes by, and then you have people who are just trying to survive, and they find sort of rusting, degrading remnants of tools, they're going to peel bits of metal off to make knives,
Right.
spears.
Right.
They're going to scavenge it. And whatever time doesn't destroy, people will destroy if they can.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
there's just going to be nothing left. And
But if they used, hypothetically, if they were using diamond cutters to cut this stuff, we would still have the diamonds, like the remnants of the diamond, right?
well, our
Because of
diamond cutters,
and
our
there's
diamond cutters are coated in dust.
Yeah, there's an entire desert full of sand.
Yeah, and it's
You try to find a
sandy
diamond in
desert.
those grains.
We talked about this. Yeah, you're just sifting sand, hoping that one of those little bits of silica is actually a diamond. It's a
Yeah, but wouldn't the structural integrity of the diamond, if it was a blade, wouldn't it still be intact, or would it erode to dust?
Oh,
No,
well,
it
we're
w-
thinking of dust to start with. So you have if they
our
we-
diamond blades are just coated in diamond dust.
Oh, ours are.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the cheapest
So,
kind
like,
of
you-
diamond to get is like this dusty bort stuff, right?
you get a metal blade and you have some way of setting the diamonds into the metal. So as the metal is wearing away, it wears away, and there's a new diamond in there.
Oh,
And that
that's how
starts
they do
scratching
it.
the stone until that one gets worn off, falls out, and then there's more underneath, and you can keep wearing that blade down that's got embedded with diamond. Studded with.
I understand. I was picturing like a pure diamond saw blade.
Yeah.
Shows how much I know.